If you're considering getting a Monarch Money subscription, the question isn't just whether it promises to simplify your finances, it's whether the cost delivers complete financial tools that actually help you optimize your finances and save more than it costs. So I tested every corner of this platform to find out if the Monarch Money pricing plan actually gives you that real financial clarity without any hidden catches. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to grab that plan at a discounted rate so that you're not overpaying from day one. But before we jump into the details of Monarch Money's pricing to see if it's actually good for you and how to avoid overpaying, let's get one thing clear first. Who is Monarch Money actually built for? Monarch Money is designed for the person who wants a complete, real-time picture of their entire financial life. We're talking about people who have multiple bank accounts, several credit cards, investment portfolios, loans, and maybe even a mortgage or two. It's built for the detail-oriented person who wants to know exactly where every single dollar is going without having to log into 5 different apps. But more importantly, Monarch Money really shines for couples and families. If you've ever tried to manage finances with a partner, you know it can lead to some arguments. Who spent what? Did we pay that bill? Monarch solves that by giving each person their own login while sharing the same household view. But don't just take my word for it. The feedback from people who actually use this app daily tells the real story. Take this longtime user, for example. He's used nearly every budget app out there, from Mint to Personal Capital to some others. He said that he found that Monarch works best for his specific needs. He mentioned that the syncing has been really good, and he's content with how they have budgets set up. But here's the interesting part. He compared it directly to YNAB and explained that with YNAB, their whole philosophy is to budget all of your money and assign every single dollar to categories. He personally didn't want that, especially since some of his categories have variable spending between months. Sometimes there is no spending at all in a category, so he loves that with Monarch, he can actually have non-monthly budget categories. So yeah, that specific feature is for him, but I think that review right there frames the whole Monarch Money pricing decision. You're not just paying for software, you're paying for a specific budgeting philosophy and all of the tools that comes with. This is a philosophy that gives you flexibility instead of rigid rules. Okay, now that we know exactly who this tool is built for, let's get into the Monarch Money pricing breakdown and what you actually get for your money. Monarch keeps things pretty simple. There's only one paid plan. It includes everything. There are no tiered upsells where you have to pay more to unlock basic features. You just pay one price and you get access to the full platform on web, iOS, and Android. Now, what does that one price actually unlock for you? Well, let me walk you through the core features because this is where the value really starts to add up. First, you get complete financial tracking. You can connect unlimited accounts. We're talking about checkings accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, loans, investment accounts, and even assets like your car or house. Monarch uses 3 different data providers, Plaid, Finicity, and MX, all to ensure that they can connect to over 13,000 different financial institutions. If one connection fails somehow, they often have a backup provider that you can switch to, which is a huge reliability boost compared to other apps that leave you stranded. Then there's the budgeting engine. This is where Monarch gives you flexibility that competitors like YNAB simply don't offer. You get 2 distinct budgeting systems. You have category budgeting, which is the traditional method where you set limits for specific things like groceries or dining out, but then you also have flex budgeting. This is a higher level view that groups your spending into buckets like fixed expenses, non-monthly subscriptions, and flexible spending. So this is perfect if you don't want to micromanage every single coffee purchase, but still want to stay generically on track. One user on Reddit who was a longtime Mint user put it perfectly. He said that Monarch does everything that Mint did, but better. He highlighted the usual budget and net worth tracking features, but he specifically called out the spending analytics too. He mentioned the Sankey graph is really interesting. So for context, the Sankey diagram is that interactive flowchart that visually shows where your money comes from and where it goes. It's incredibly intuitive. He also mentioned that he's married, so he loves that he and his wife can have linked accounts instead of having to share a single login. And speaking of couples, Monarch has heavily invested in collaboration, so you can invite unlimited collaborators to your household. Each person gets their own login credentials, so you can even label your accounts as mine, yours, or ours. This means that you can filter reports to see shared finances or individual spending. For couples who want transparency but also a little privacy, this is a game changer. Another couple who uses Monarch also shared their experience. They said that Monarch is great to use with a partner. They love being able to have 100% visibility across both their cash, investment, and credit card accounts. They each have 3 or 4 credit cards and multiple accounts across Vanguard, Capital One, credit unions, Chase, Fidelity, and Ally. So for their joint accounts, they can keep track that their joint checking has enough money to cover shared expenses like the mortgage and utilities. For joint savings, they can keep tabs on how much goes into it from their direct deposits and ensure their emergency savings are covered. If they have a joint savings goal, like a wedding or a honeymoon, they can easily see how much more money per month they need to save. So, after breaking all this down and looking at all the features and the Monarch Money single-tier pricing, we finally get to the big question that's probably on your mind. So, is it actually worth it? Or is this just another overpriced subscription? Well, my honest take is this. If you're someone who already has multiple accounts, investments, and perhaps even shared finances with a partner, and a desire to actually understand your cash flow without ads or upsells, then the value does become pretty clear. And on Reddit, I found plenty of users where people were agreeing, and here's a thread where a user asked if Monarch Money was worth the cost, and the responses here were incredibly telling. One user replied straight up that it was worth it for sure. He mentioned that he'd used Mint back in the day and said that Monarch Money is simply much better. Another user gave a more detailed breakdown of his experience. He talked about how the app automated transactions for about 95% of his purchases after he set up his rules. He also had his investment accounts linked for net worth tracking and was using the credit score feature. His key takeaway was that it had saved him hours each month on budget tracking compared to when he used a manual entry app like EveryDollar. And even Business Insider's personal finance team compared Monarch Money to the best budgeting apps out there and found it to be an industry leader. They specifically noted that it's feature-rich, allowing you to create infinite savings goals and make a zero-balance budget and connect accounts from over 13,000 financial institutions. A lot of great features here. So for me, the verdict is this. Monarch is absolutely worth it for couples and for individuals with complex finances who value flexibility and a clean, ad-free experience. Now, if you want to get started with Monarch Money at a fraction of the original cost without overpaying a dime, you need to click on the link that I've placed in the video description below. By using our exclusive link, you can get a massive discount off of your first year. We've actually partnered with Monarch to offer this discount to our viewers, and it is the highest verified deal available right now, anywhere. So it's a very simple way to secure your subscriptions, to test out all the powerful features we talked about today, and to start taking control of your financial life while maximizing your savings. So just check that description, click the link, and lock in that discount offer before it expires.